Bears Reclaim Their Land by Elba León. Where do bears live? Some people may have a hard time understanding that borders are actually man-made. This means that bears and other animals won't stay in the areas that have been located and marked as theirs. They can wander around and move all they want. The scientific study will only touch upon black bears that are found in North America. Are bears invading humans or are humans invading bears? The scientific study that took place in 1995 and updated in 2019 by the Biological Conservation demonstrates that bears belong to nature and that it all depends where humans choose to live. The research that was conducted to see the bear activity is in Colorado, United States. What seems to be the main issue when you have two mammals that both believe that are in danger when they interact? The experiment is following a set of guidelines, designing it to reduce garbage related conflicts. The study would be beneficial if seeing the number of conflicts would decrease and the tolerance for the animals increase. And for what we can tell from the images, bears have been all throughout North America without being killed for hundreds of years until the westward expansion that started with the Louisiana Purchase in the early 1800s. What are some of the issues with bears? Well, like in the title said, bears reclaim their land. And in the National Geographic article, grizzly bears are mentioned, and quote unquote, grizzly bears are reoccupying significant areas of their former range. That means they're coming into their territory that used to be theirs before, and now are coming and feeling entitled to, because that's their area. This study, there were surveys that were handed out to many of the homes. And the problem that became number one was, had a bear break into the garbage. That's what the image on the right shows. It's part of the study and it proves that people have many interactions that they rather not with bears, causing them to be intolerable with the bears. This causes people to act very aggressively with them. On November 9, a pair of grizzlies were shot and found in a dumpster in Montana. Then, a few days later, a dead grizzly was found mutilated. Its legs had been cut off near the Yak Valley. How can human intolerance diminish with bear interactions? Well, the study started off with researchers distributing bear-resistant garbage containers, since the main problem was that bears were breaking into the garbage of residencies. These containers were distributed to 1,145 residencies in two different residential sections, and they were two different controlled sections of the city, so the north and the south part. In this video distributed by the NBC newscast, we can see that a bear comes into a residential area and the teen pushes the bear off in order to save her dogs in California. This could be traced back to the surveys that were handed out to each resident from the Colorado area, where one of the questions were, has your pets been attacked by a bear? And only about 5% of people answered that they were. 2 years after the experiment, the findings showed that after the residencies were given bear-resistant garbage containers, out of 745 respondents, 53% said that the bear population should stay the same for the next 2 years. 29% disagreed with them and wanted a decrease in bear population, and 18% surprisingly wanted an increase of the bear population that was already there. Since bears have an incredibly strong sense of smell, they can sniff up to 10 miles away and pick up a scent. When bears go to retrieve food from a garbage can, they're often euthanized because then they cannot be out in the wild. In this video, the New York Post published it's seen that a bear is going through the dumpster. Well, that's because the bears were not evacuated in Lake Tahoe, where the fires were occurring. They had to go on their own and look for food anywhere they can. Guardian article also agrees and goes hand in hand with the study. It shows that bears are continuing to break into homes and looking in the dumpsters to find food. Overall, after the experiment occurred, people still found interactions with the bears. There was a decrease, but it wasn't that significant. The study concluded, and the efforts to decrease interactions with the bears just created a little bit more tolerance in humans, but it didn't have any significant effect that would say there was a breakthrough in the study. Well, here we've concluded the presentation. Here are my reference and works cited, and I hope you enjoyed the informative presentation.